Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Is it too loud? I honestly don't even really need a mic, but I'm going to use it, okay? It's official. I'm using it tonight. Good evening. Thank you for coming to our fall 2022 informational meeting for Alpena Early College. I'm Lori Nugent. I'm your early college coordinator for Alpena High. And I also have some helpers in the room. Mr. Lee Fitzpatrick is back there, and he has been the coordinator for the past 8 years, right? 8, 9 months. And Joseph Bluett's helping me out on the laptop, and some lovely young ladies who just walked out to the hallway to summon some people in. At the end of this meeting, we'll have a question and answer session, so if you could just hold your questions until then, that would be fabulous. And my students, my early college students, student panels, they're going to help us with the questions and answers, so that should be pretty cool. Okay, good. What is an early middle college? An EMC is a Michigan Department of Education approved 5-year program of study. It's designed to allow a pupil to earn a high school diploma in one or more of the following. So 60 transferable credits, an associate degree, a professional certification, the Michigan Early Middle College Association MEMCA certification, participation in a registered apprenticeship. Our early college program is through APS, of course, combined with Alpena Community College. That's the institution we work with for our early college. And we're bridging the gap between high school and college. This involves a memo of understanding between the college and the high school. After stakeholder meetings, community sessions, staff meetings at both institutions, the MOU allowed us to move forward with Alpena Early College. It's an extensive agreement with all sorts of regulations in there. Oh, go back to the logo. Thank you. All right, so I got to tell you a little story about the logo. It's just real quick. To my knowledge, it was designed by Mrs. Joyce McCoy. And the first arc there, the first arrow is blue to represent Thunder Bay Junior High. The green is Alpena High School. And then the red, the dark red, is Alpena Community College. So as you can see, they all sort of just joined together for one effort toward Alpena Early College. Here's the first cohort, way back when they graduated in 2017. Is that right, Mr. Fitzpatrick? I think it's 2017. Look at them. This cohort 1 was the first class to complete Alpena Early College. Graduated in 2017, 27 of them. One of them had 60 plus credits, 12 had 50, 7 had 40, 5 had 30. Not too shabby. Cohort 2, 39 students, there they are. This is the second class to complete the program. 32 students, averaging 48 credits. And you can see the stats listed there, I don't need to read them all. Cohort 3, 40 students. 37 completers, they average 51 credits earned. 11 associate degrees, 1 professional certification, 26 early college certificates. All sorts of good stuff getting handed to these students. They're working hard for them, trust me. Alpena Early College Cohort 4, 41 students. Averaging 51. Oh, you notice how that's about the same for the credits. Look at their GPA, 2 of them with a perfect 4.0. Cohort 5, 53 students. And 6, 74 students. That is the first group, such a large group. The first one to have a fall and a spring starting group. And cohort 6, which I happen to be lucky enough to be a part of the commencement ceremony for last year. Graduated 56 students from the program. The average credit hours received 51 again, GPA 3.1, and look at all those volunteer hours. That was the average. They do pretty well with that. This is cohort 7, 73 students. That will be this year's graduating class. Year by year, at a glance, you know what, let's go back and look at that last group actually, because I do have to tell you, we're actually in, the group we have right now is cohort 9. So we have got to compile those pictures and a few other things with that. And so we also have cohort 8 that we need pictures for, and cohort 9, so we didn't want to leave them out. At least tell you. Year by year at a glance. So freshman year, this is the kind of thing you want to be thinking about, students and parents. Think about your Alpena High School requirements for graduation, okay? What you need to check those boxes in 9th grade. In 10th grade, your sophomore year. Requirements, of course, always that. Career study and apply for and understand AEC commitment. So a little bit better understanding of what's going to be expected from you. Junior year, 1 college class per semester. Spring is optional. Some students feel they can keep going and take another class second semester, which is spring. Some students want to take a break, and that's okay, either way. Senior year, usually about half Alpena High School, half Alpena Community College, to full-time ACC with a minimum of 1 Alpena High School class. Have to have that 1 Alpena High School class that year. Okay, that's how it works. Then the EC year, which is really their 13th year, that's how it's coded in Synergy. Most to all coursework is at ACC. So we don't really physically get to see those students too much here in this building. In fact, they avoid it if at all possible. I see them quite a bit at ACC. Funding is generated with a commitment in grade 11, including at least 1 required high school course not completed until year 13, so we withhold the 1 course. On-time graduation means earning a high school diploma up to 60 transferable credits, or an EMC technical certificate after the 5th year. What is an EMC certificate? A certificate the APS may confer to early college students who do not earn 60 credits or an associate degree. The AEC must contain support elements, so mentor. The student must complete all Michigan merit requirements. The student must earn a minimum of 15 college credits at a 2.0 GPA or higher. And the student must complete 100 hours of service credit, including at least 20 volunteer hours for a nonprofit. And that gets kind of technical. There's some job shadowing students can do, some paid work experience, unpaid work experience, all sorts of fun terminology they get to learn along the way. And why are we doing this? To increase the number of AHS students enrolling in college, to increase the number of students completing college with degrees or certificates, that piece of paper beyond a high school diploma, right? To reduce the financial burden on families. Yeah. And here are some statistics to kind of go with those bullet points on the previous slide. Nationally, early middle college students graduate from high school at a rate of 93%, compared to the national graduation rate of 78% for all students. That one shouldn't be there. Nationally, EMC students earn an average of 23 college credits upon graduating from high school, and 88% enroll in college in the immediate fall. Workers with an associate degree earn an additional $150 or more per week on average than workers who have only a high school diploma. Average cost of an associate degree from ACC as of last year is $22,500. That's for the whole degree. Okay. The cost to an Alpena early college student, you say it. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty good. Alpena Public Schools provides tuition, books, fees paid in full for all students, administrative and counseling support for students, support for post-secondary students and parents, an early college coordinator to act as a mentor. Let's talk about mentoring. It's a big part of this program. That's what makes it special, right? That's what makes it different from dual enrollment, because that mentoring piece is pretty impacting. impactful relationships are needed that are caring and competent, and that's from Protective Factors framework. We provide a supportive setting for students to engage in early college experiences. We hold regular meetings, I call them required meetings, with students to help with college readiness. We offer individualized help with student schedule planning. We're going through that right now. Things are really crazy, but good. Students get assistance from Alpena High School and Alpena Community College, so all of those pieces are so important with the mentoring. There's really a lot to it. Another statistics cited in the report from nonprofit organization Mentor, which works to strengthen and expand mentoring opportunities and programs, found mentored students are 55% less likely to skip school, 78% more likely to volunteer in their communities, and 130% more likely to hold leadership positions. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's from 2022. What does ACC provide? Academic advising. Process usually works like this. They go to their academic advisor assigned to them, and then they come to me with what's been proposed. I approve and send it through. Early college contact for AEC students when they're on campus. I spent a day and a half at ACC on an average per week right now. In-district tuition rate is paid by APS, so it's not just that APS pays it, it's at an in-tuition rate, so ACC does that for us, or in-district rate, sorry. Free tutoring, behavioral health counseling, and career search services. And they keep expanding these services for students, they really do. We've been pushing the tutoring lately because we're just beyond the halfway point. And summer orientation, we work together to hold a summer session so that students can go in and kind of get a feel for where they're going to be eventually. Who is eligible for this program? Alpena High students must apply in 10th grade year. Has to happen that year, everybody. The cohort will be announced by May or June of 10th grade. I was a little bit long with this last year, so just a warning, it takes me a while. Students must meet ACC enrollment guidelines. Students must be interested in pathways compatible with Alpena Community College offerings, which only makes sense, right, the programs they offer. Early college student attributes, so they should be mature, motivated, self-disciplined, career-focused, self-reliant, and adaptable. We try to teach them that. Cohort details, students may participate in prom, graduation ceremony, senior activities, sports, ACC student activities. The next steps for the current 10th graders. How many of you in here are 10th grade? Okay, awesome. This meeting will count for the February cohort informational meeting, so you need only attend one of the two meetings. Feel free to come to both, that's great. Applications for cohort 10, it's gonna be cohort 10, will be available in Mrs. Nugent's office after the February meeting and will be due on Friday, March 10th. I think I've updated everything in this slideshow. We'll see if I have, but that's our new due date for applications. They must be complete and include signed statements from you, the student, a parent or guardian. Very important. Interviews for you and a parent or guardian will be held in March, April timeline, right around there. There are interviews with me, and we have a lot of fun, 30-minute interviews. The cohort participants will be named in May or June of 2023. This next slide is for current 10th grade, again, and 9th grade. How many 9th graders do I have in the room? Anybody? Anybody in 9th? Well, you were once, right? Oh, there we go. Work with counselors to ensure you're on the right track, right? So you're gonna graduate on time and get everything in. Tell your counselor you want to be an early college candidate. Have that communication. Hey, ask about it, all right? Do that, please, for yourself. Continue to explore careers through elective courses and begin the pathway through career and technical education. So always good to explore those options. We have some fabulous options here for CTE. We work closely with those programs. Build the habits of success. Give your best effort academically. This is really important. Your best effort. Have good attendance. Have good attendance. I do check that. Demonstrate mature behavior as much as possible, right? Ask for help. Use all your available resources. So on that slide before we said self-reliant, part of that is just knowing how to ask for help, right? Yeah, it doesn't mean you know all the answers and you always know what to do, but you might know where to go for help. And if you don't, I can help with that. Here's the timeline for 2022, 2023. November 3rd or February 16th is the information meeting. So you can attend one or both. February 17th through March 10th will be the application period. That's when you have the application hard copy in your hands to work on. March 3rd, early submission deadline. There's a scoring bonus for that. Try to get it in early. March 10th, final deadline for application submission. No later than that, guys. Can't accept late applications, right? March, April, application review and interviews. April, AccuPlacer testing. That's the placement testing ACC handles to determine where you are for certain classes. It's a really nice resource to have in the event that second semester comes around and, oh, you maybe want to take English, okay? Well, let's see which English did you place in. So that's a very helpful tool. And we usually hold that right in the building. I have some staff from ACC come over, and it's usually one afternoon, one evening. Takes about 2.5 hours. May, June, acceptance letters are mailed. Oh boy. June, required early college cohort 10 meeting. And August, required student orientation at ACC. In August 2023, classes begin. It's exciting. We have made it to questions and answers. And I'm going to employ the help of my students that have come, they're volunteering. They're actually getting volunteer credit to come and do this. Isn't that great? So come on now, guys. I appreciate you. Do you have the extra mic? Wonderful. If you have questions, and I hope you do, raise your hand. I'll come over to you, and I will let you speak into the mic with the question, and we'll see if the students can get it. And if they can't, it's all right. We won't let them get too frustrated, right? I just thought I'd give them a chance. Using the spirit lullaby. All right. Any questions from the audience? Our quiet group.
How about mic break? So their 13th year, do they have to be in ACC? Is that, am I understanding that right?
Do you have to be in ACC your 13th year? Yes.
Like a scholarship. I'm pretty sure if you get like a big scholarship, like if you got a full ride to Michigan, you're allowed to leave. Okay.
That's a great comment. Yes, thank you for saying that, because I did not approach that topic. If you had an opportunity that you couldn't refuse at one of the big universities or another one, of course we're not going to hold you back. Okay, and we'll talk about that when the time comes, because I want to see that on paper. They don't give out too many of them anymore, but certainly not. We're not here to hold students back. We're here to support students, and we can work that out. But I think, more specifically, you were maybe that 13th year you were wondering if they can be in here at all. Some students are really into choir and band and so on and so forth, welding, and they want to be here. So they can take classes here still. But most of them don't want to. Okay, I will be 100% honest with you. I say, can you just meet me at the high school? And they look at me like deer in the headlights. Are you kidding me? I haven't been in that place. I don't want to go to that place. So they don't want to come back. Who else has fun? I don't have to run the mic to you. That's what we're not that many people, so you can just shout it out.
So can you maybe outline, so there's some differences between like dual enrollment and the early college program?
There are.
Outline some of the differences between the two?
Wonderful, great question. How about anybody have any information about dual enrollment to compare it to early college? Does Emily have some ideas?
So I know for at least dual enrollment, you have to pay a small fee. Early college is completely free and it's constant. You're always gonna, unless you take a semester off, you will always have at least one college class. For dual enrollment, you have to go through your counselor and you have to pay a small fee.
now, okay. Yes, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Of course, the mentoring is a big piece for early college. I require you to come and meet with me. I require, you know, you have to get a certain GPA. You have to pay us back if you drop or fail, those types of things. But that also holds true for dual enrollment. Anything you want to add, Mr. Fitzpatrick, to that?
So a couple of really important differences between dual enrollment and
Yep.
early college. Dual enrollment's capped at 10 classes or 30 credits. Early college is capped at 60. You have an extra year for early college, so that 13th year is a free year of college to get more credits. Dual enrollment is simply counselor helps you sign up for a class and then asks you at the end of the semester how they went. Early college is a mentored process, and there are regular check-ins and support for the student. The biggest underappreciated part of early college is that mentoring process. There are some students who can just get a book, take off, do the work, and come back, but many can't. And so it's a bigger opportunity because of the extra year. There also is limitations on what classes you can take for dual enrollment. If, for instance, I want to take Intro to Psychology, but there's an AP Psychology class here, the dual enrollment student has to take AP Psych. The early college student can make the selection as to which one they prefer. And so there's a much more broader opportunity to choose courses based on the amount of things that the ACC offers. So those are the biggest differences. It's the extra year, it's the ability to pick from more courses, and then of course the mentoring.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely a few more hoops for dual enrollment. I ran into one this morning too, the obstacle was trying to suggest one elective course that maybe some students that were having trouble scheduling and had suggested one course, and the counselors were trying to tell me that probably needed an elective before that, a prerequisite elective, but for early college I have a little more leeway than that, so that's a good thing. Yes.
No, okay. Where do you get more information on what classes they can take and then the available programs? He already knows a couple, but I also have a daughter who might be interested. But also as far as like classes, do you just go straight to like the program you want to do, or you take like math, intro, like level math?
Great question. So first and foremost, where would they first find information on programs? Do you guys know? Website, and you remember what the website is?
I go to ACC and I just look at their
Yep. alpenacc.edu is the first stop, and it will show all the, you can go to programs, it'll show all the different programs they have, but most programs start with the basics. It's like you're back at square one, right? Depending on what program you want. So you're going to do your math, you're going to do your English, your social sciences, humanities. You're going to do all of those things that build the building blocks to get you where you need to be.
So now take like maybe like half the program and then the other half would be more like specialized training?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. They do a pretty good job on their website of outlining those. Of course, I work extensively with students on that. When students apply, it's usually a pretty good idea to just stick with something general unless they really know they want to go into automotive service, or they want to go into welding, or they definitely want to go into psychology. If they really know that from the beginning, great, awesome, engineering, whatever. If not, a general degree is fine to apply for. Yeah, but we get into all sorts of good stuff. Great question. Oh, sorry, you're late.
What sorts of items or questions are on the application? Like, what should they be preparing for before they actually apply?
You can actually see the application right on the website if you want to see. Do you mean ACC's application? No, you mean our application. You can check theirs, but for this one, we're gonna look at different things like attendance. We're gonna talk about study habits. We're gonna talk about in the interview and on the application. It'll have different things like that, like your academic habits. I don't want to give away too much, but you know, it's really just if you're doing your best, you know, being the best student you can be, and you're staying on the right road, you have a pretty good chance of getting into the program. Okay? But you can't see that. You can't really have that hard copy application until the date that right after our next meeting in February. Yeah. And any questions along the way for students after they get it, they're welcome to come to see me or email me or call me. Yes.
Doing early college and having to do the 13th year, would you still graduate with your graduating class, or would you graduate with the next graduating class?
Wonderful question. You guys know the answer to that?
You get to graduate with your graduating class.
So when you say graduate, you mean walk with them, right?
I'm pretty sure you don't get it.
Yeah, in the eyes of the community, everybody who watches commencement, you walk right along with everyone else. You wear the same stuff. You haven't cords for early college, so it's additional regalia, if you will. But technically, you don't get that diploma until the 13th year after that. But nobody really knows that except for the people right close to you in your life and at commencement for early college, because we have our own commencement too. Anything else you want to add to that, experts? Anybody else? Yeah.
So, from the way it sounds like early college is better than dual enrollment in every category. But are there any reasons why I would want to pick dual enrollment over early college?
Well, I might be a little partial to early college, but I like your comment. So, why would a student want to pick dual enrollment, right? That's what you're asking, over early college. I guess I would say number one is if you think you're really going to get a good scholarship in athletics. That might be one reason, because you would have, well, now they're almost, they're talking about changing that so you can actually participate in sports that 13th year at ACC. So that's on the table right now, okay? Could happen. But if you're really a stellar athlete and you think you're going to get a good opportunity, or people are coming to you already, that may be a reason. I mean, that's totally a student choice. Another reason would be an academic scholarship that you already know that you have sealed. Maybe you have full tuition because of your scores on an SAT, and then maybe economically you get a lot of financial help from financial aid from FAFSA, and so you get a full ride. That may be another reason. Any other reasons that you know of, Mr. Fitzpatrick, that you would pick dual enrollment? I guess if you're just, like your personality, you just know you want to get out of town right away, and that works for everybody in your family.
So early college is great at three things. It saves your family money, and for most families in our community, that's an important factor. It prepares your student to be a great college student by giving them the knowledge that they need and the experience that they need. So if they're leaving to go to University of Michigan, they're not finding out how to be a college student on their first day in Ann Arbor. And it's going to prepare them academically. The doubt that seeps in when our kids leave Alpena and go off to bigger cities and bigger schools about if they can do calculus or if they can do college English is removed, because you can do calculus and you can do English when you leave. And so it really prepares people in those three manners. And financial, socially, academically, you'll be advanced from other kids in the same situation. If you don't need those, and some don't, some are ready socially, some are ready financially, the family doesn't need any reduction in cost, and some are ready academically, then that's the reason that you wouldn't necessarily need this program. For the bulk of everybody in our community, we need at least one of those things, and many of us three.
And I think that the hardest part, the time of year, is probably right about now, when if you're in 13th year, or you're in your 12th grade year and you're going for your 13th the following year, and your buddies, some of them, are going to go away, right? So it's hard sometimes to be around everyone in the student lounge and they're talking about going away to college and things. So my advice is just stay strong, and you did this for a reason, right? You wanted to be in the program for a reason. It's going to be a really good outcome for you. Any other reasons from the panel that you can think of that you may have wanted? Maybe you considered dual enrollment and then decided against it?
This is free.
Free?
You have a chance at like an actual degree if you work for it.
Yeah, okay, because you get more chance to take more credits, right? And then fewer restrictions, so great points.
Does ACC offer any online classes?
Yes, as a matter of fact, if you explore their website, there are several online sections of courses right now.
Are allowed to take those?
Absolutely. Yep, they have online courses, they have in-person, of course, they have remote courses. We have equipment here in this building where we just log into a meeting and students can actually interact with the instructor on the big screens that we have in D105 in my room, actually. So it's really some unique experiences that we get to participate in the program. Did I answer your question well because I heard your comment. Yeah.
So, if I took early college, but I wanted to go to school in like Oregon, how helpful would early college be?
I think it would be the same. I mean, it'd be the same as getting your associate if you got your associates anywhere. You always have to check wherever your destination big goal is, right? If you want to go beyond ACC and go for that further degree, always look into transfer credits and their restrictions because some schools are pickier than others, especially out of state. They're going to have their own little thing, and that's okay. U of M has their own. I know. I personally know that. My kids went there. But they actually have several restrictions in place. So if you're thinking U of M, you just make sure you have some conversations with me, okay? And we stay on top of things and we make sure that you take classes that are going to work for you. It's possible. It is. We have students do it every day.
What type of careers are some of your students thinking of entering? Are a lot of these geared towards careers that ACC offers? Or are a lot of them moving on to Michigan State or U of M?
It's a good mix of all of them. I mean, we have students in the trades. Some of them stop at their associates or their certification and they're on and they're working. They're working already. They have job offers, so that's a pretty popular program, especially like utility tech, concrete tech, welding, really good programs in our area, and they're working already. Some of them do want to go on to some sort of engineering or something else. We have a lot of students who want to go into the social sciences, whether it be teaching or something clinical. Most programs, you can start here. It's a great place to start, right?
Have you heard feedback about this program within the state of them, you know, colleges outside saying, oh, you know, we know that they're doing this, kids are doing good, they've got good, you know, stats coming out, and it looks good on the application when they do go somewhere else?
I probably can't speak to that the way Mr. Fitzpatrick could. I know that we're the biggest, right, up here. And there are several schools jumping on board with early colleges, but we're definitely, we're carrying the weight for them. We led the way, right? We blazed the path.
We were the very first early college in Northeast Michigan. We're a model program for the state of Michigan. When new programs are thinking about starting, I've consulted with a number of different programs in order to start. They use our model and our paperwork and our application to be approved by the state. They provide that to programs in order to get certified. So this program has been extremely successful. Our kids have gone to, you asked about careers, every career possible, engineering, doctors. I have a newly graduated dentist, you know, every field possible, either with associates and then plus on to universities, or our utility linemen that are making more than I make the first day they graduate with their associate's degree. Our concrete tech kids. There are private jets that fly people in from across the globe to interview the week after ACC graduates with the concrete tech graduates. Working for international builders. We're very lucky to have ACC for a partner. They've got some wonderful programs both for careers and for university preparation. And so I would say we have extremely successful kids in almost every field that's happening. And we're very lucky that ACC is such a wonderful partner for us. They've been in it with us since the beginning, and it works very well for kids. Kids that want to be welders, kids that want to be utility linemen, kids that want to be doctors, kids that want to be lawyers. Just about anybody can benefit. Anybody that needs to save some money towards college costs, anybody that needs to be sure that they're mature enough to handle the big world when they enter it, and anybody that ever has doubts about whether they can make it in the larger world. It's important that you know that in the regular pathway from just high school to college, 33% of kids drop out in the first 6 weeks. 1/3 leave their university in the first 6 weeks of college. Why don't they make it? They weren't ready. They didn't know how to be college students. They were filled with doubt. They had to wonder and prove themselves on the fly as they moved to new cities and lived in different places and interacted with people that they have never interacted with before. And when we send our kids out into the world, they're ready and they're successful. And even when you stumble and have some real struggles and failures, some of the best success stories of kids in Alpena Early College are ones that tripped up along the way, and if they were doing it by themselves, it would have been where they stopped. And we're able to pull them back, get them on the right track, and give them the opportunity to improve and learn how to be successful. So this program, for now, going on its 10th year, has been a great benefit to kids in our community, and I'm very proud of it personally. I handed it off to Lori last year. She's doing a wonderful job with the kids, but it's a big decision for a 10th grader, and it requires a commitment. Going forward, it's not just hey, I think I'm going to come in and then next fall I'll decide if I like it or not. That's not what it is. Students that are accepting this program change their graduation requirements, and they turn into the ones that we showed earlier. And those are your graduation requirements now. The community service is a requirement, or job shadowing, or a blend of the two. Those things are not optional. Those are just like any other thing on your graduation list. You have to get those things done. The community is making the commitment to pay for you, and you need to make the commitment to repay that by doing your best and going to class. Nobody succeeds in college without going to class. When Lori looks at applications in the spring, she's going to look at attendance. She's going to look at grades. Not that you have to be an A student, but you have to be given effort. If you look at grades and you see there's 10 missing assignments, that person's not going to make it. Those habits won't cut it. And this is the year that you fix that, so that in spring you don't have that uncomfortable conversation about how your habits are really poor and it's not going to be a good fit for you. So 10th graders, make sure your attendance is good, make sure you're turning in all your work, make sure you're doing your best job with it, and make sure that you're making mature decisions. If you did something horrible today and you're going to get suspended tomorrow morning, make sure when you return that you make better decisions. It's not about never having made mistakes. It's not about never needing to mature. But today you have the opportunity to be ready for her in spring and not have a bunch of things that make it questionable whether you can be part of this.
If you find yourself, if you're going to be looking for something better along the way, this probably isn't the program for you, right? Because we have a really great thing going, and we can offer it to you. You just have to make that commitment. Does anybody have a question about scholarships? Because I don't think we've asked anything about that, and I don't think I've broached that topic. But every 13th year student is eligible for the same scholarships that they would have been in 12th grade as not being in early college. So you are a first time in college. When you apply to go somewhere else after ACC, it's for first time in college, just as if you graduated the 12th graders at that point, okay? So you're not missing out on any scholarship opportunities.
If you have a high flyer, so this is many things for many people. It's the first time in your life, in your educational world, that it's going to be customized to you. Every student in here, their experience will be different based on what they're ready for. And Lori will help them decide what they're ready for. If you've got a high flyer, you have the opportunity to take the SAT again as a senior and score even higher. The SAT is money. 10 points, 50 points, 100 points is thousands of dollars. So if you've got a high flyer, you've got another year before you need to apply for your university, and you've got the opportunity to take the SAT again as a 12th grader and improve your score and get yourself more scholarships. I have yet to see an employer that said, well, your graduation year is a year later on your diploma, and you say, well, I made the mature decision to go in and try and earn my associate's degree while I was still in high school, and that's why that date is a year later. I have yet to see a university that looks at an application. If I'm trying to get into University of Michigan, and I have student A, who's got a 4.0 from Alpena High School, standard pathway going to University of Michigan, student B, 60 college credits, same 4.0, higher SAT scores. This guy looks like they could be a good college student. But this guy over here is a good college student. They've already proven themselves. We've got 3 Centralis presidential scholarship awards from Central Michigan. Central, before COVID, sent buses, paid for a bus to come to us, pick our early college kids up, and drive them to their campus so they could take them around campus for the day so that they could try and get as many of those kids in as possible. Our colleges love this program. They love kids that are ready for success. They love kids that are mature. They love kids that are confident and ready for their careers and their education. So this is a wonderful opportunity. If you're a struggling student right now, this is a chance to get a person on your side for the next 3 years to help you stay on track. I know you don't want to hear from your parents, right? We are in the rare position. Lori is the only adult in your life who is not going to punish you when you do wrong. She has no punitive powers. If you do something dumb in the hallway, we have people that will do that. If you do something dumb at your household, we have people that will do that, right? This is just about supporting you. So if you don't today have any concerns about finances for paying for school, or any concerns about your academic ability, or any concerns about your maturity to leave Alpena and go out to the world as a 17-year-old, then you don't need this. But for all the rest of us, you do. It will benefit you, I promise you. And like they said, if you get your full ride to scholarship to the University of Michigan as a 12th grader, you go take your full ride scholarship to the University of Michigan. If you get your full ride to play basketball at Western, you go play basketball at Western. We've never ever stopped a kid that was on a great pathway from taking that opportunity. I have had a kid that turned down a full ride at University of Michigan because she said, I'm just not ready for it yet. And she stayed in early college, completed her associate's degree, and went on to the University of Michigan. Better prepared than she would have been at the age where they offered it to her. So this is a great fit for all those people in our community that have any of those 3 concerns.
What other questions do you have?
If you take the full ride scholarship, are you paying back the early college tuition?
Likely not, as long as you've met all of our requirements for MEMCA.
If you do your 100 hours and you complete at least 15 credits with a 2.0, you can be an early graduate.
Okay.
So we're not here to stop anybody from succeeding. It's the top on our minds. It's our top goal. Yeah.
Great question.
The only time you pay anything in this program is if you fail a class. And I've not seen people fail classes other than people that just didn't do it. It's not easy to fail a class when you give your best effort and you go out again. So that's the state of Michigan, just like dual enrollment, requires repayment if a student fails a class.
Anything else? I'm not hard to find. Here's my contact information. I appreciate you all coming out tonight. I know it was a beautiful evening. There's my email, my phone number. Right now, my office is temporarily relocated into D105. So we're working through that, but I'm still answering my phone and email.
If anybody has just individual questions, come on up. When we're done, we'll stay and answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The spring meeting is you're going to get a super fast version of this, and then they're going to just go through the application paperwork. So spring meeting is a little different. You can come if you'd like to. If not, you can come this one as you
We are going to stay so that I can do my early